Hello, welcome to PDO Max Take It to the Max webinar. We're really excited to share today's content with you, Retail That Works, Boosting Profits Through Smart Product Sales. And those of you that are on here live, we encourage you to ask questions, engage with us. We do have some announcements, so stay until the end. We have a sneak peek at our new retail product. And that leads us to the purpose of this webinar. I'd love to introduce our PDO Max trainer, Christina Delgado. Welcome. Thank you so much. Absolutely. You've been on other webinars before as a provider talking about our product, PDRN, and that is one of the reasons you're also on today to talk about this amazing product and retailing this. And then we have our PDO Max representative as well as consultant, Jacqueline Rowe. Welcome, Jacqueline. We're very happy to have you on here. Jacqueline and I have known each other for a very long time working in the spa industry, so this is a really cool project. And Margaret Laura, we've also worked together in the spa world, and I'm so excited to have the synergy together. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Christina, absolutely. Christina, can you just share a quick background, and then Jacqueline and Margaret, so everybody knows, really the chemistry that we have here, so that we can talk about all of the great tips and tricks we're going to work in synergy together with our clinic and retail.
Of course. I'm a nurse practitioner. I'm an aesthetic injector. I'm a national PDO Max trainer. I am the skincare lover. I become obsessed with products that work, and I become very passionate about it, and I want to share my passion with everyone. So when I find a product that works, I truly go out there and try and educate everyone because there's science behind the products here.
Awesome. So my name is Jacqueline, as other Jacqueline said, so that's always fun for us to be on calls together to figure out who's talking to who. But I've worked in the industry for a really long time in operations and management in so many different types of spas, from day spas, hotels, med spas. So I feel like I've really learned a lot about the different types of businesses, and every business is so different, but retail is definitely one of those things that can work for everyone. So I'm really excited to talk about it. Margaret and I worked together in the industry for a while, and we started Wonders of Wellbeing Consulting, or WOW as we call it, and we really just work on, not just spa consulting, but also we work with vendors, looking at communications and sales. We just love the industry, and we're just really excited to be here. And Margaret, I'll let you. Yeah, thank you. I'm Margaret Laura. My background is 25 plus years in the spa and wellness industry. Fun fact, I actually was the director at, it was the second, although he likes to say the very first medical day spa in New York City. So I am dating myself a little bit, but it's when spas started integrating with med spa services, and it was a real fun time in the industry. But really glad to be here and share whatever expertise I can.
Excellent. And I'm Jacqueline Luongo, Director of Sales. I am excited to be your host tonight, so let's get started. Let's move on to the next slide.
All right, so I'm going to kick it off and get really right into the technical. So I'm definitely a numbers person. So if you're one of those people, this is the section for you. Really, retail for a service provider sometimes can feel like it's taking away from services, but it's really a great benefit for your business overall. Why it's really important, one of the biggest reasons is it's a very high profit margin, very low overhead, and that's compared to, of course, your services. So obviously, if you're an independent, you're paying yourself, and you should always look at it that way. So labor costs are what really decrease the profit margin on our services. So you may see something like 10 or 20% profit on a service versus you're seeing 40 to 60% sometimes on your retail. So it's really important to have a balance. It also doesn't take you extra time, so you're really able to kind of work that into the experience, into the service.
We're going to talk a lot more about that a little later on, but so you're really not taking more time, you're making more revenue off of the same amount of time. So think about it that way. Generating revenue when also your schedule isn't full. Picking up the phone and, hey, I see that it's been a month. Can I replenish? So lots of tips and tricks for that. And again, just really reduces your dependence on only services, gives you a balance. It's always good to have a great mix. Thanks. So long-term revenue is also really critical. So your retail is going to extend the results of your service. So I don't think anyone as a practitioner believes that you do a treatment and they're fixed forever and that's perfect and that's all there is to it, right? There's always that home care and the things that they need to do to extend the results of the service. It's really just going to make people feel like it really is working. It's going to have them stick to their skincare routines, and they're going to get better results from their treatments if they're actually doing what they're supposed to do at home as well. Better results means they're going to be more excited. They're going to give you more referrals. They're going to come back more often because they're going to want more of that. So again, don't get nervous thinking, oh, they're going to do this and then they're never going to come back. No, it's an extension of what you're doing in a treatment room. So it really just helps to also remind people of you. You're kind of integrating into their everyday life, not just their once, every month or every few months. So, maybe next slide. And so on that, loyalty. So again, it brings clients back. So there's a statistic that 30% more likely for someone to rebook if they're purchasing product, if they're using your products at home. So this has been, I remember probably 20 years ago when someone first told me that statistic and I was like, oh, really? And obviously you want to be really passionate, like Christina was saying. You want to know that, there's some, science behind it. There's going to be real results behind it so that you're really confident in speaking to it. But that is going to really increase their loyalty and the chance of them coming back, obviously keeping your books full. And they're going to trust you. You're giving them these personalized recommendations based on seeing them in person. They're not just buying something off the shelf. So it's a totally different experience than just going, to some random or, a big box store or ordering online. It's a very different experience. It's just really building that retention and strengthening those relationships. And Christina, you can probably attest to this and your experience with products in your practice.
Of course, most of the time people want products that they can take home that can boost the treatments that they do in the office anyway, because they're pretty busy and they can't do a 10-step routine. So this will be a very key component to continuing that glow factor afterwards. It also helps decrease the inflammation, and they need something to go home with to continue the process. And also, when you want to boost your collagen, you need to continue applying these moisturizing and emollients to the topical layer of the skin, so that way we can retain the moisture and enhance the epidermal layer.
Yeah. Absolutely. And there's so many environmental factors out there that just because you use a product even one time, like that repetitive use, it's going to really just kind of block everything in. Like you said, there's just no way that you can get away from everything you're walking into, especially if you're in a city, you have all this, pollutants in the air. So definitely that's super important.
Yeah, I certainly agree to that. And I've always felt from an aesthetic point of view, 50% of the client success is what they're doing at home, to really continue those results. And why wouldn't you want to use ingredients that you've just had in the treatment room that is the extension of that treatment for that more long-term effect, because we're not with them as the practitioner for every day, or sometimes even every month. So this is a great in between that time. And like you said, Jacqueline, not taking away from what they are and what us as practitioners are doing, but just complementing it and boosting those results.
Yeah. Awesome. Next slide, please. All right, so I'm sure that generally everybody's got some sort of POS or like a CRM combo type of software. It's definitely really important to track your numbers and understand, you know, what the demand is. Kind of, you want to aim for at least like a 20% retail to service ratio, but to be honest, really top service providers that I've seen can go upwards of like 40 and 50%. You think about how, you know, I think it's also the products you choose need to really reflect what you're charging in your services so that it makes sense. So if someone's paying a certain amount for a service, they're going to be inclined to pay a certain amount for retail. So really looking at that. But think about that. If you're, let's just say, you know, you get crazy and your goal is 50%. So if I'm charging 500 for a service, I want to sell 250 in retail. Well, in, you know, clinical products, like that's one or two products, right? So it doesn't take that much to get there. I think the numbers kind of seem scary at first, but it really doesn't take a lot. And usually, right, if you're, you know, kind of doing the, like offering it in pairs or, you know, all that stuff, you might have somebody who gets 2 or 3 products and somebody that gets none. So it does balance out, you know, as long as you're putting it out there and putting the effort out, it's going to balance out. So I think it's definitely attainable. Really look at your top performing, your slow moving products. You really want to look at this because if you see something selling really fast, if you're selling out of it, then you definitely need to bump up how much you're keeping in stock. That's a huge deterrent for people to purchase. I mean, you don't want it to be completely impulsive. You want them to be invested so that they're actually using it, because what's, you know, good is it going to do if it's under the sink or in the closet, right? They're not using it, it's not doing anything. But if you are looking at something that's selling out, that means if it's not on the shelf, it is more likely they're not going to say, oh yeah, I'll wait. Like people are not patient, they're not going to come back. It's really, really hard to get them to do that. So that's something I would say when you're looking at quantities and your purchase levels, that's a huge thing for sure to look at. The other thing too is like looking at what's moving slow and making sure you create some incentive, try to push those things. Oftentimes when something's not selling, it's a lack of awareness or education. So it doesn't mean just put it on sale and get rid of it. I think you know, if you're really excited about something and you bring it on, you need to invest your time and energy in it too. You know, your partners or reps in these companies that you work with can only do so much in providing materials and educating you. You have to be really interested and engaged and put in some of the work too, because ultimately it's the sale is coming from you to your patient or to your client. So I think definitely knowing where everything fits and just like adjusting your focus and really being hyper aware of that is going to bring you the best success when it comes to retail.
Jacqueline, do you feel as though merchandising and switching around your merchandise in a clinical setting, so of course we're talking more about our med spas and practices out there, how important do you think that piece is? And also, you know, those point of purchase items or, you know, like shelf talkers and all of that, having that in place, how important is this?
Yeah, for sure. I think that even in a med spa, and actually more so in a med spa, I see people really do what I call grocery store stocking. So I'm a huge proponent for merchandising and sort of a display, something eye-catching, having like 1 or 2 of the items, something that's visually appealing, that catches their attention rather than having like 5 of everything stocked on a shelf, especially because things look completely the same oftentimes, like everything's in the same color box, the same writing. So you're not catching anyone's attention when they're sitting around, they're browsing. It just kind of gets overwhelming really easily. And definitely whenever it comes to, you know, doing shelf talkers, I think be strategic with that too. You don't want to have like shelves full of paper and cards and like the banner signs. I know that a lot of companies have them and they're like, here's a banner sign. And that's really fun. Switch them out, rotate them. Like when you have an office full of banners and brochures, it's not cute. Like you got to really move it around. Really, people, especially when they're coming in on a regular basis, they just stop looking. It doesn't, I mean, you move something and they'll be like, oh, is this new? Like, no, we've had it for like 3 years. I moved it and now you see it. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that happen. I've even done it. I'm like, oh, is this new? No, we just moved it. Oh, see, there you go. And I'm the one, I'm looking for stuff to buy. Like when I go in, every time I go into a spot, I'm like, what am I gonna buy? So it definitely works on everybody for sure.
Great points. Thank you.
Next slide, please. So the last point I have for right now is, or wait, Margaret, is this your point?
That's me, but I was going to let you go for it. I'm like, she's on a roll. I'm going to let you go for it, but hey.
I was just taking over.
I'll take over. So maximizing revenue. After 25 plus years in operations, I lived and died by my P&L and my numbers, and I get it. And retail is such a great opportunity to do that. But before you can do that, we're going to talk today about some different skill sets you can teach your team, whether it's your practitioners, you yourself, or your reception team. Because most important, and Christina mentioned this, we're not here to sell, we're here to educate, right? And that's really what we do, right? So finding a way to make those authentic interactions with your guests and educate your clients on really what matters. You know, I love a saying, and it's, this service does not end until the client comes back, right? And that's everything, y'all. It's financials, right? To get that ROI. It's not after the service. You just basically covered yourself there. You've got to get them back in, and then you're going to start to see this return on investment. So a big part of that is not just their satisfaction that day during the service. It's what they're doing at home, and then how you treat them and how you correspond with them to get them back in. And then we start seeing an ROI that drops down to our bottom line, and we're all happy. So next slide. So building trust through education. And Christine, I'll tap into you again. You know, when you introduced yourself, you had me excited because I can tell you're passionate about education. And I guarantee you haven't had to sell a product in years. It's because you're an educator, right? So just simply by educating, you're selling. And, you know, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you have to try really hard.
No, you're absolutely right. And I also use everything that I do.
That helps.
So if I don't use something, then I don't believe in it. If I believe in a product, then my patients believe in the product as well, because they see the results for themselves. I was trialing out the new product that we're going to be discussing for several months before anyone even told me, wow, your skin is glowing. And then I said, now it's time to tell them I'm doing something that's a little secret.
And that's so great. How can you educate unless you are actually immersing yourself in it? I always, you know, whether we're educating our guests or we're educating our teams on how to sell something, I compare it to a driver's manual, right? And you're talking to a gal who's lived, you know, 30 years in the city. So after you take the driver's test, I'll master the driver's test. But until you put me behind the wheel and actually make me try it and do it, it's a whole different experience. So building trust through education, super important. The main thing, and Christina does such a great job at it, position yourself as an expert. You know, that's going to be so important. Trust is everything. If you say it and they trust you, they're going to believe it, right? And one of our favorite mantras in sales is selling is serving and serving is selling. So when you're organically selling something to someone and you're doing it from an authentic place, you're educating them, you want them to feel better, look better, you're serving a purpose in their life. And by serving that purpose in their life, guess what? You're going to sell them something. So super important. A nice way to do this, and some pro tips I'll share, is I like offering a mini consultation at the end of the treatment. Really frame recommendations as a natural extension of the service. So you don't want them to go to the front desk and they're finally getting hit with a product that you didn't talk about in the treatment room. You didn't talk about the benefits, why it's good for them, why it complements their service. Start that education during the consult, before and after, really coming full circle. So by the time they're checking out or you're closing their sale, it's really going to make sense why you're presenting this product. Also, an example of that could be, what is your biggest skin concern right now? And what you always want to do with education is make it relatable. So building that trust through things that are relatable to them. So as you're doing your consultation, you're asking these open-ended conversations, they're going to give you a ton of information. Now, however you write that down, you memorize that, whatever you're doing in your practice, bring those answers back around. Oh, Margaret, so you were concerned about hydration in your skin or lack of hydration. This is going to help you because, or you're concerned about your redness. This is going to help reduce that redness because. Coming full circle through education is going to go a long way in authentically selling that product. Next slide. So personalizing product recommendations. So avoid generic product suggestions. I mean, everybody is unique. Definitely don't use a one size fits all. And we talked about bringing it full circle. So really finding out what brought them there today, what are their concerns, and the why behind what you're recommending. So you really want them to feel like this is personalized for them, it's tailored for them. And all of this, I know it sounds pretty obvious, right? Like I'm not going to give them something they don't need. Well, I don't think that you will. What I want to drive home here is whatever you're recommending, and in regard to specific product, you're telling them why they need it. You may know that, but it may not be obvious to them. Everything from personalizing when they use it, find out when they're using their skincare routine, when are they applying skincare, how do they apply it, how often, what is their lifestyle like, what are their concerns, and really making it this personal recommendation that fits their lifestyle. And it just really, really, really will increase that purchase likelihood. And next one. Oh, the soft close. So this, so many ways to close a sale, right? So we know we want to educate, we want to be authentic, we want to listen intently and really bring that full circle so they feel like it's a personalized recommendation for them, not like you're selling the next best thing or a trend or what have you. But how do you actually get it in their hand? And you want to really talk to that client as if they've already made the decision to purchase. Mm-hmm. And instead of asking, do you want to take that cream or serum that we talked about today? Are you interested in that product we mentioned today? Don't ask if you want. Just say, hey, I'm going to grab that serum we talked about today. You remember what you said with that redness? I applied it at the end of your service. It's already going down. Your skin is radiant. It's going to really help you with blank, 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 whatever they shared with you. Assume. It's that art of assumption. Assume that they already committed to the purchase. Since we did microneedling today, you're definitely going to want to take that post-care kit home to speed up that healing and then get ready for your next treatment, which we'll definitely make sure we take care of before you leave. Just assume. Assume they're purchasing, assume they're coming back, and speak to them in that manner. The other pro tip there is hand them the product. This is an age-old tip, right? Get it in their hand, let them feel it. They're holding it. Subconsciously, they're creating this ownership with this product already. So get it in their hand, even if you can like thrust it out. I started the industry as a receptionist, and again, I won't tell you how long ago that was, but we were taught to put it in their hand, and it works.
It works. It works. Yeah,
right?
no, there's a lot of these kind of cliche pieces about retail, but it's worked. Why, you know, those tips are solid and certainly a great way to close the sale based on, you know, what your approach is, whether it is from the educational standpoint or not. So I totally agree with you.
Yeah. So some pretty solid tips there. Putting them all together really creates this beautiful, seamless experience that doesn't feel like a hard sell. It's definitely soft, it's authentic, it's thoughtful. So I think what's, you know, I get it. You see so many people, you know, guests one after another, reset, open up your mind, listen intently, use that information. Anything you do from that heart standpoint and that mind standpoint is going to feel very serving to them, not self-serving for you, and is going to end up in some really great business. All right, next one. Sharing success stories and personal experiences. I mean, I don't think we have to really spend a lot of time. This is just so, this one is kind of obvious, but Christina, I mean, you mentioned it. It's, you know, you use the product yourself, right? You use it, you love it. Share the stories, you know, in a very thoughtful way. Talk to them about tangible, relatable stories to them on how this can help them and how it's helped others or how it's helped you, right? I just started using this eye cream last month and I've noticed such a difference in hydration. You know, whatever it may be, we're here again, you have to open yourself up to this experience and really, you know, not be afraid to put your guard down and say, hey, I was going through that too with my skin. And I'd love to talk to you about how it helped me. Christine, I don't know if you have any tips because you're with them all the time in the room to share on that skill set.
You know, I'll be honest with you, one of the biggest things that helps me is that I don't wear much makeup. I'm actually not wearing any makeup on right now.
Bravo to you, Christina.
I have the lashes and the eyebrows, but I don't wear much makeup because I want them to see my skin.
That's
and
great.
I invest my time into my skincare, so it's super important to me. And I want them to also see the dewy, glowy look. And then they truly will believe in the glow if they see that you have it. So most of my patients want 3 things, right? Minimal amounts of steps to do at home, increase the recovery time for any procedure that we do in office, and 3, the quickest glowy, dewy, poreless finish, which we know doesn't happen immediately. It'll take a little bit of time, but they want those 3 things immediately. And these products can help them get there slowly but surely.
Yeah,
I love
that. And we have so many great before and afters that we're continuing to build. And Christina's going to share yours after, you know, the use of the mask or even one treatment with some home care, that the proof is there that it is working if you commit to and getting that patient or that client's commitment that they're going to consistently use this at home. Here's the results that you can get.
I'm also seeing great results in different age groups. My office manager is 63, and I do combo therapy with her, utilizing the LúmEnvy home kit as well as the medical office kit, and her results are astounding, absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, that's great.
And this right there, the way you said that, you sold me, right? Like you have such a great passion, and I think that doesn't come from just giving your team or you just sort of reading a pamphlet and really wanting to love the product. It's about using it and believing it and seeing it and sticking with it and sharing stories, and that's really where this slide is coming from. Really, purchasing is personalized, right? So personalize the experience and the purchase will come.
Yes.
All right, next one. Role of the reception team. So again, oh gosh, 25 plus years of trying to take my passion and get everyone else that's working on my team to feel that passion so we can sell, right? Selling is important to our business. So I'm going to share a few tips. I have 5 and I'll go through them quickly. First and foremost, warm and knowledgeable first impressions, right? Your reception team or you, right? Look, this is the person closing, right? Greeting and closing. It has to be warm. You have to really position yourself as knowledgeable from that first impression. because you are going to be the one at the end closing, whether it's closing a sale for a retail purchase or you're trying to book another appointment. They need to have this trust in you, and that really needs to be this established rapport from the beginning. So we definitely want to make sure we're using names. We definitely want to repeat back at check-in what they're doing that day. Those sort of little bits of knowledge, hi Jacqueline, how are you? I see that you're here for hydrofacials, whatever it may be today. Fantastic, great. It just starts to create this check-in and this relationship that, okay, she knows who I am, she knows what I'm here for, she understands me. And it's such a small thing that goes such a long way. Number 2, comprehensive training is key. And we've talked about this the whole call. Your team has to be educated. Get them excited through education, really through training. Ensure they can speak knowledgeably and naturally about the products and the services that you're offering. The more practice they get, and I'm a huge believer in role playing. If you ever do a team training, please put role playing in there. Get them used to talking about things actively and outwardly, really integrating those product suggestions into every guest interaction because they're well versed, because they've practiced it, and because you've taken time to educate them. Number 3, train your team to research guests before they check in. This is so important, right? So when your guests are walking in, or your clients or your patients are walking in, they should already know, who this person is. Is it their first time? Are they a regular? Whatever it may be. As an example here, I say, oh, you're one purchase away from earning your free eye cream with our VIP program. All those little cool things that they can take a look at with that guest profile to really make them feel that they belong, that this is an experience that you care about them in, and that interaction is super hyper targeted, personalized. Because again, that creates this open door for them to have trust and make that purchase. And it just opens up really great sales opportunities when you're ahead of the game, checking to see who's visiting you that day. Number 4, combating the no. Teach them how to combat the no. We really want to make sure we're handling objections gracefully. You want them to be able to overcome hesitations. So when you're doing that role playing, make sure you're practicing with the guest saying, or the client saying, no, I don't really think I'm going to take that today, or I'll call you to book my next appointment. Whatever those sort of challenges are, really work on overcoming those objections. It's just such a great way to ensure that you're closing that sale and you're going to be able to see that guest again. Don't let them try to figure it out on their own. Last but not least, mastering that assumptive language that we talked about. And the key there is, not, oh, do you want it? A lot of our support staff, they may sell with their own pocketbook, and they might be like, oh God, this is, a $200 product. I'm nervous to present it. Assume that client or guest wants it. Get it into their hands, which means you have to make sure your merchandising is on par so they can grab it and put it in their hands. So those are some tips for your reception and support team. And then next slide is just an overall summary of everything we went through. So education, personalize your recommendations, use those soft closes, really make it feel natural. Leverage your guest profile, get to know them before they come in so you can really maximize their visit. And then handle objections. You're going to get objections. You might as well practice handling them so you can really overcome them and make it feel comfortable. And then of course, all of this will create a seamless retail experience.
I'll say one thing too, I really have seen often in more med spa environments is we get really excited about a product, and a lot of them are more clinical advanced. There's like really, ingredients that are really big words that not everybody knows, or terminology when you're talking to them, when you're in a treatment room. I think that one thing to keep in mind is you don't want to overwhelm someone, right? So you want to educate them so that they know exactly what's going on. Like they might call it one thing when really the technical term is something else. I think there's always a balance of understanding how to, you know, acknowledge what they're saying, and here's the education part, but not overwhelm them with so much information that they just kind of shut down, because now they feel like, and not just in the treatment, but also whatever retail, right? So you start going in too much into ingredients and all this, it's just an overload for people. So I think just consider your audience. There are some people who will ask those questions, and that's awesome. And you can, you know, nerd out on ingredients, which is fun, but there are a lot of people that they just want to understand the benefits, the function, and like, how do I put this on my face when I go home? So definitely, I think, keep that in mind. There's, you know, you have your reception team, you have service providers, and there's kind of like a happy medium of how the sale is made, where you get the technical and sort of the layman's terms as well.
Well, and I also feel, you know, Christina, you do a really great job at talking about what it does, not what it is, you know, what it's going to do for your skin, what it does for my skin, what it's done for this patient or client's skin. So that's an old sales tip too. You know, you're selling what it's going to do and why this is good for them specifically versus, you know, the ingredients and what they do, but it's more what it's going to do for them.
I discuss the result more than anything, probably.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's most important. We'll do whatever it takes to get the results. So what does it matter?
Yeah.
Like, I have to work on intensity. Oh, well, okay, I guess I'll just carry it around.
Jacqueline, I think both Jacquelines laugh at one of my other sales sayings. It's sell the hole, not the drill.
Yeah.
Right? So the hole is where we want to get to. We need to get a hole in this wall. So we're going to sell the fact that, hey, you need to get a hole. And then organically, they got to buy the drill to do it. So
Right. Absolutely. Again, it's solid. It works. It doesn't need to be recreated. Absolutely.
And so it's funny, just kind of leads really well into the marketing piece to this. So, you know, again, a lot of why we really wanted to do this webinar is oftentimes we're talking with a lot of practitioners that, you know, they don't feel like selling or retailing or marketing is like their strong suit. And the reality is you're really doing it more than you think. So kind of going into marketing, again, your content that you're creating. So if you're a solo or, you know, you're working with a practice you have, you know, a social media team. It's really just those education pieces. So they want to hear it from you. People recognize you as an expert. So it's really simple, creating, you know, a quick video, talking about the product, you know, how to use it, or showing an example of using it. People are just definitely more visual now. I think the videos go a long way, and they definitely get boosted more, you know, when it comes to like kind of Reels and TikTok, all that. It definitely gets pushed out there into the web. And the transformations, like the before and afters, I know everybody definitely does those. And there's definitely an art to that too. I mean, you really got to get like the same lighting, the same positioning. So really plan for, like, I would just always plan for that, because the second you don't plan for that is when it just totally gets off and it's like the wrong angle and people are like, I can't tell. So I would just plan it, and it really helps to, not just for like marketing purposes, obviously helps them to see their own results and see really how far they've come, because it can be gradual to the point where they don't even realize it from 1 month to the next. But if you look at a few months or 6 months, it's really, you know, a lot more apparent. And then definitely tying in that retail, like, okay, you're getting a treatment, here's how you continue at home, this is what it does. So just, again, tying back into your benefits, and just blending it in. It doesn't need to be necessarily a highlight of a product. Like, I think that's important too. And having a good mix of talking about a product or a treatment or behind the scenes, like having a really good blend of that. Next slide. And with talking about social media, so again, just your how-tos, your favorites, talking about the ingredients. So again, that education, you're able to kind of do a little trickle of information on key ingredients or ingredients that are a buzzword. So PDRN or salmon DNA, obviously that's a big trend. And you know, the LúmEnvy product has been out for a little while now as far as the professional use. And it's really, I mean, it's just continuing to pick up speed. Honestly, it's so interesting. I think us all being in the industry for a while, you really start to see when something's picking up full force. I mean, I remember when you couldn't like even pay somebody to do gel polish or microderm or, I mean, LED. They're like, LED, whatever. Okay. So PDRN, I mean, it's definitely high up there on the list. So it's also a really it's a great ingredient. You also, as we're gonna, you know, tell you a little more about it, have to look at the concentration. So you want to educate them on how this product is going to be different from something else they've seen online or some other influencers talking about certain things. So that's your chance to really educate. Do your before and afters, you know, quick tips, do, you know, gift with purchase, or you purchase online, things like that. If you do any online sales, and do a live, like do a live treatment. That's a huge thing if you do events, because not everybody can make it. And not everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm going to take 2 hours out of my day to come see a demonstration, but they'll watch a Instagram live. And people are nervous sometimes about treatments because they don't really know what's going to happen, or even the home version, right? So you can really kind of take all of the questions and nervousness out of it for people. So
all those tips. Yeah.
And then just doing more off of those events. So you can do like a VIP shopping night, do product demos. People love to get little free treatments, like mini treatments and experiences. I think the giveaways, you know, here's my take on giveaways and samples. So I know that our instinct is to like do a goodie bag and just throw everything in there, but what can happen is you end up giving a bunch of products to people and they're things that they don't really want or don't need or can't use. And I myself, I value great quality products. So I find a home for them. I rehome them for someone whose skin it's made for. So if it's something for oily skin, I'm like, I got a friend for that because I can't use it. But not everybody's going to do that. And just to really make the most impact, not just about the cost, right? But to make the most impact, really think about, you know, doing sort of mini consultations, creating a customized bag. Or I've done also a sample bar. That's gone over really well. I've done that many times. So they're able to really, you can use kind of custom little shelf talkers, print it on some cardstock, you know, things like that. So you're really able to, people actually have a really good time like picking out. It's like they're shopping. So it's actually even better because then they're really looking at it. They can ask questions. You can talk to them about it instead of them getting home and just having a bag full of stuff and, you know, who knows when or if they're going to use anything. So definitely recommend that. Next slide. And then really the last way is, as far as marketing, building some packages, some series, so bundling it, you can include that with your service pricing, create some packages. Doesn't mean you always have to have it on the menu. So it could be seasonal. Maybe it's like, it's wedding season. We're doing X, Y, and Z, you know, this treatment, this retail to go with it. It could be, you know, graduation season, like whatever the sort of core audience you're going for, you think about the benefits and create some packages, just creates excitement. And again, remember your retail has a much better profit margin. So if you create a bundle and some sort of discount, it gives you a little more wiggle room so you're not really eating into your profits so much. And you can really focus on the value of it and the benefit instead of like making it super cheap. and really just give them some incentive. So you can work this into definitely rewards points is a great way. If you give points for services, then you let them use it towards retail. Again, I mean, they're spending their money in house. That's a really great way to get people excited. And they're going to look at the shelf, and believe me, they're going to spend more than what you give them. I mean, there's like the one person who's like, let me just spend my exact $25. Most people are not that. They're just like, oh, I've got this. It's basically like a discount. And I mean, they're gonna load up. So
That's so true.
oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's so many things you can do, but I think just stay really focused. Don't feel like you have to do everything all at one time. That's probably a big pitfall I see. But I know we want to talk to you a little bit. We have a quick summary, and then we definitely want to give you some more info on what's coming out from LúmEnvy. Again, I already mentioned like points, SMS. It just gives you an excuse to talk to people, right? So use any excuse you can. You can keep going. All right. Again, just think about it. It's not just something on a shelf. It really is a way to engage people, extend the benefits. Your marketing doesn't need to be complicated. Keep it simple. You don't need to throw everything out all at once. It's breadcrumbs, as I always call it. Like that's really, we're overloaded with information these days. So definitely take it easy. Don't overwhelm yourself even with trying to put out all that information, and really track your numbers, track your team, get creative, do incentives, and have our QR up there. If you guys want to reach out to us, we'd be happy to talk more with you, and hope that this was helpful. So yeah, and now we're excited to learn a little more about LúmEnvy Skincare.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was so valuable. And I just feel like it really is going to help support this next step and really venture into LúmEnvy Skincare for PDO Max, supporting our current accounts that will take on these products and really complement what they're already doing in clinic. And Christina, you've been on webinars before where our focus was how you have created these packages for the bridal market. And a lot of what they're doing at home is just as important as what they're doing in clinic. So all of this makes so much sense and really is a full circle to put all this together to have LúmEnvy Clinic and LúmEnvy Skincare. So I'm very excited to share what's next for PDO Max. Next slide. So we know we have LúmEnvy Clinical. It is only 5 ingredients: PDRN, niacinamide, glutathione, vitamin C, and hyaluronic acid. We're using it with microneedling and laser energy devices. This is only found in our med spas. We know this. We've done a lot of webinars and education behind LúmEnvy Clinical, along with GlowPin. And now we have LúmEnvy Skincare. And this is what Christina has been talking about since we got on our webinar. This is a wonderful complement for the LúmEnvy Clinical. It's never to take place of the clinical. We have featured ingredients that is, yes, PDRN is the key ingredient, but niacinamide and some new ingredients like Centella azaica, which is a plant-based exosome, fruit and natural-based extracts, amino acids. So this at-home kit, and it's called the Glow Between Kit, will be a wonderful way to complement the service that they're getting in treatment in clinic. It's coming out July this year, and we are really excited about the results that we're getting. This is a sneak peek at the packaging. There will be a PDRN serum that's 30 ml, a Pure Brilliance Glow Pin that is a 0.3 depth, that is a pre-filled glow pin for that in between your med spa treatment and your next one. So this is also going to have 5 masks. And I can't wait for Christina for you to talk about the masks because we're also using them in clinic as well. And it's a wonderful at-home treatment. And let's look at some of the results. Next slide. There's our mask. Very exciting. We have our protocol ready to go. So when you will obviously going to be launching it on social media shortly, as well as you'll be able to now purchase it within the next week or 2 for the mask. The protocol is a wonderful addition to complement the LúmEnvy in-clinic treatment. It can also be used with LEDs as well. Christina, anything you want to, let's talk about the mask first. Let's talk about this mask.
I love mask. It is very luxurious. It's a biocellulose mask. It has a humectant in it, so that way it retains the skin barrier and retains the moisture in the skin. It also has some red marine algae. It also has antioxidants. It protects from UV damage. It protects from oxidative stress. It protects the cell barrier. It is such like a moisture locking type of mask. I absolutely love it. And you know, sometimes you put masks on and then you take them off and you feel like it's like a sticky, filmy layer on you. This is not it. It absorbs so well. And that key player, of course, the PDRN, is one of my favorite products right now, but it is amazing. And I actually use it alone as well as I stack it with other products. So I will do a PDO thread lift. I'll do the glow pin device with the LúmEnvy Clinical, and then I'll put the mask on, and I'll put the serum right on top and send the patient home with the serum. I did that for my office manager 2 to 3 sessions, and she looks amazing, and she's 63 years old. Yeah. So the results are truly, truly there. The mask is really nice also if you want to put it in the fridge. It's nice and cold. It's also wonderful post radio frequency or laser treatment devices. One of the biggest clienteles that worry the most about their skin, the biggest group, is patients with rosacea. Redness prone skin, rosacea, flare up easily. This treats it. It calms the inflammation in it. The Centella asiatica really does, and the acrylamide does as well. It helps the inflammation tremendously.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it too. So it's going to come in a box of 5 just like this, and in the Glow Between kit, there's 5, so you could ultimately do them, you know, once a week if you chose, and just keep those results going from your in-clinic treatment.
And I'll tell you something also, it fits the face so nicely. I know that sounds so strange, but that's something very important. Sometimes the masks have to cut the eyes out, cut the nose out. It literally fits perfectly onto the face, which I love. It's easy.
That's a great point. And you know, we've been testing this for now almost 6 months at this point, and we've gained a lot of great before and after. These are amazing. But I have to say, I've gotten a text from Christina almost every week. Do we have it yet? Is it ready yet? Are we ready to launch it? Because I know you're so excited to give this to your patients.
My patients so excited about it because once I told them that I was trialing a new treatment, because I trialed it for 3 months before I told anyone that I was trialing something new. Once I started getting compliments, I was like, okay, now I'll share with them that I've been using a new product. It's not here yet, so now they're all excited for it. We're patiently waiting.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about these results.
So this is before and after 1 session of microneedling with LúmEnvy Clinical, and then I applied the biocellulose sheet mask and then the serum on top. So you can see these are about maybe 2 weeks apart.
Skin's so glowy. That's what I need.
And I struggle with post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, post-inflammatory erythema, and PDRN component, along with the plant fruit extracts and the antioxidants, helps calm the post-inflammatory inflammation tremendously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Great results. Next slide. So I had the rare opportunity to do a content day and demo a full treatment, just as you just discussed, Christina. And these are two different skin types here. You know, the first, we're talking about that sensitivity and having a bit rosacea reactive skin. This patient or client really reacted well, specifically to the mask. The calmness of that mask and how it cooled her skin. She was happy about the texture of her skin even after the glow pin. And then as I was going through the treatment and finishing with the mask, she just said she felt like she had new skin. And I remember how happy she was when she opened her eyes and I was showing her in the mirror that was only one treatment. So I did LúmEnvy Clinical with the glow pin. I did use the mask and then finished with the glass skin brightening serum. And so the protocol that we've now created to work in synergy is we are calling it the Pure Brilliance Glass Skin Facial or treatment. And it's incorporating the mask and also finishing with that PDRN glass skin brightening serum. And that really seals it all in and ties it together. And your skin feels so soft and you're glowing. And this second client certainly had some sensitivities, but she was more concerned about pores and just that glass skin look. I feel like that's definitely a trend too. Are we seeing that a lot on social media, TikTok, glass skin, appearance? And so this is exactly what we were able to accomplish for her. And she loved the mask. She kept saying, can I get my hands on the mask? I'm like, soon we're gonna have the kit ready for you to be able to do a lot of this at home. And they all were so happy with these results, of course. And this is just one treatment. Next slide. Christina.
So this is one of my beautiful brides. The lighting is a little bit off, but you can see she struggles tremendously from melasma, sun damage, skin discoloration. She also does have a little bit of rosacea in the undertone. We did 4 sessions of the LúmEnvy Clinical on her, and she is completely obsessed. And I will tell you, this is an amazing patient who's also a hairdresser, who tells everyone about this product, raves to everyone about the product, posts it constantly on social media. I mean, the proof is here. It works. It tremendously helped her and it boosted her confidence. It even made her makeup glide on easier for her wedding. So not only did it help her skin, but it truly helped her big day. And then continuing forward, it gave her the confidence that she needed to keep up with the skincare routine.
Wow.
Now, going back to what Jacqueline was saying about the brightening serum, so I like the consistency of it tremendously. I've used many different skincare products. It's not as light as a hyaluronic acid, not too light, not too heavy as a thick lipid. It's right in between so that it absorbs very easily, but it does give you a nice dewy finish, and you don't get oily throughout the day. You don't become oily throughout the day because you are so dewy and glowy. And it doesn't pill, which we've experienced with other products. I can apply makeup on top of it, and all it does is just look brighter.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
It's important to mention all of these things because some people will wear it with makeup, some people will wear it without makeup, some people will wear it post-treatment. So it's beneficial in all different aspects that patients will use it. And this will be a great add-on. The retail will be wonderful because a lot of times patients cannot come in to the office. Their schedule is intense lately. Everyone is back into the office, need that booster at home. And this is the wonderful add-on booster. And I think my patients are already, we have a whole list waiting already.
That's so exciting. Absolutely. And I certainly feel that way, that it's actually a great primer. If you are using, mineral makeup post, using the serum as your next sort of that in between, I think it goes on very smoothly. And those are really great points because I feel you get the best benefit if you're using it morning and evening, not waiting until the evening to use your serum. You want to use those ingredients consistently as much as possible. And this is a great product to be able to use that and not worry about it pilling or not being a good consistency under your makeup.
Yeah.
So great points.
And I'll tell you, I have been trialing how long now, Jacqueline? Has it been maybe 5-6 months?
I think it's been more than the 4 months, because I think
Yes.
it's 5 months that you've been.
And I love
it.
I'll tell you, I dropped it. Well, my son dropped it and shattered it into a million pieces. And then I had to reach out and get another one because I was like, I cannot live without this. I need this. When you see something truly improve your skin, but not only improve it, protect it, and maintain it, you want to continue to use it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is that quickly you start to feel it. And I've had some of our team members start using the serum and getting that feedback. This is a product just like the clinical that you're going to get those texts and say, wow, this serum is amazing. Wow, this mask is really creating that glass skin look. It's the truth. And we really started to think about what was missing in the PDO Max brand. And this was something that we needed a complement to our clinical treatments as we were adding on boosters. You know, we have our, of course, Afterglow Skin Booster. We have LúmEnvy Glow Pin. This is an easy transition into, you know, helping that patient use their in-between, you know, home care to continue those results. So that's really where this whole thought came about, and it will be launching again in July. We are going to have an Instagram Live. So Jacqueline, we're doing all the right marketing social media things. And Christine and I are going to do an Instagram Live together. Maybe we'll do maybe I'll do a treatment on myself while we're on our live. Why not? Exactly. I can't wait. We know that Glow Pin is easy to use, and it will be a great segue into, you know, teaching our patients and clients how to do that at home. This will be a really easy transition. There'll be the directions, a QR code video with it. And again, it's not to replace what we're doing in clinic. This is to complement and boost those results. So again, it's the serum, the Glow Pin pre-filled, and it's not the same serum in the Glow Pen that is in our LúmEnvy Clinical. It does have PDRN in it, but it also has another complex of ingredients, vitamin B, and ingredients that are really great for infusing into the skin with that 0.3 depth and complement the serum as well as the mask. So the retail will be $249. We are going to do pre-sale options, so please reach out to PDO Max. We're doing sets of 6 and 12 with some added incentive. We're going to launch it on Instagram Live July 24th, which is also National Skincare Day, and it's very exciting. All, you know, makes all perfectly pulling together. And again, I thank you, Jacqueline and Margaret, for joining us and giving us all of these, you know, great tips and insight on, you know, helping us create a plan for, you know, retailing this product and, you know, getting the team excited. I really feel like it's a great, valuable tool for no matter what brand, you know, people are working with and products.
Awesome product. Congrats on your launch. Really excited for this.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Christina. I can't wait to keep seeing your results. All right, we'll see you on the Instagram Live. Bye.
Bye.